Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I will be taking a look at the Ease My Trip IPO. So it's a ticket booking company which specializes in flight tickets, hotels and a few other services. So my focus for today will be on the financials, the business model, the long-term view for this company, the competition, its competitors in this segment, and the risks involved, listing gains, and whether I will subscribe to it personally or not. So let me share my screen and let's go through this together. So I hope you can see my screen now, and yeah, let's see. So here you see the assets of the company. So the assets have grown over time from 180 crores to now around 360 crores. That's quite good. Profit after tax has also seen a significant increase. I think this decline in the quarter ending 31st December is because of COVID. Okay, so till now it looks good. So one thing that I find a bit fishy over here is in the period ending 31st March, uh, they had a revenue of 1797 million rupees, out of which they made a profit of 346 million, that is around 34 crores on a revenue of 170 crore. And then by 31st December they had a revenue of 815 million, that is 80 crores, and they made a profit of 30 crores. So if they are able to make a profit of 30 crores on a revenue of 81 crores, then why were they making such less profit from a revenue of 180 crores? So the profit here should have been almost double as compared to what the profit is here, right? This seems a little bit fishy to me, because the profit has remained constant while the revenue has almost halved. Let's move forward. So these are the details of the shares. These I think you can take a look. I won't go over these. I'll take a look at the financials. Let's go. So here in their business model, they say that the company offers air, rail and bus tickets, hotel and holiday packages and other value added services. The company provides customers an option to buy tickets without a convenience fee, ensuring a repeat transaction rate of 85.95%. So what I observed in this claim of having a no convenience fee is, suppose you don't use a discount offer, like many a times these sites they have a bank discount offers in which they offer discount of 10%, 8%, which going by the air ticket cost comes to at least 300 to 500 rupees. So if you don't use that offer of taking off of 300 or 500 rupees, you can avail the no convenience fee. But 90% of the time, I personally use the banking offer because it is much more than the convenience fee. The convenience fee is around 250 rupees or something like that. And the bank offer is usually around 500 rupees to 800 or 900 or even 1,000 rupees. So this no convenience fee, it's okay. Like it's an offer for those who don't have any banking credit cards or any other bank offer for them to avail. So let's see their business mix. So air tickets account for 94% of their total revenue, and out of which 80% is from domestic traffic and the rest from international traffic. Others, I believe, are hotel and rail tickets account for just 5.4%. So that's a huge risk, because just from one single segment, they are earning 94% of the revenue. So they are not very well diversified, I believe. Uh, Taking a look at the Ease My Trips revenue model, its its gross bookings jumped 54% in the year through March 2019. See, I believe the company was still very small. So initial years, the percentage, it looks very attractive, and the growth is quite a lot, but once you reach a certain level, this tapers off. Gross booking volumes at 1.77 million. Okay, yeah. So even they have mentioned the company derived 94% of its revenue from sale of air tickets and 5.4% from hotel packages. Airlines accounted for entire revenue for the 9 month ended December 2020. So I believe COVID had completely shut down their hotel business and they earned revenue just from their airlines business. This is a huge risk going from a long term perspective because they are not very well diversified. So in the third quarter ended December, Ease My Trip recovered 70% of the booking volumes over a year earlier. Make My Trip and Yatra. So Make My Trip and Yatra in terms of transaction wise, they are massive as compared to Ease My Trip. So this comparison is kind of unfair, and that is why they are giving just percentages and not the actual volumes that are being that is there for these two companies. So I think this is the comparison between FY20 and FY21. Revenues have fallen, other income has fallen. See this again, it looks like book cooking to me. The revenue has more than halved, and yet the operating profit has increased. So either they were so inefficient in the beginning that they were just burning money or splurging money, that they were making the same amount of profit in more than double the revenue, or they have cut cost so substantially that they are still generating a massive amount of profit that they were generating before at almost one third the revenue. This So I don't know how this is possible. Revenue reducing by more than half, yet the profit is increasing. God knows. In the risk factors of the company, they identify Cleartrip, Make My Trip, and Yatra as the competition. So this again is not true. Let me tell you, I personally use Flipkart and Amazon to book my flight tickets. Amazon provides for Prime members free cancellation. So that's like saving around 1500 to 2000 rupees worth of extra money for cancelled flight. So it is not just Cleartrip, Make My Trip, and Yatra who are the competitors uh, for this company. It is even IRCTC, and I believe IRCTC has the minimum convenience fee, whether for airline tickets if you're registering with them, and even credit card companies like SBI, HDFC, they all have their own personal booking platform that you can use. So the competition is not just Make My Trip, Yatra, and Clear Trip. It is Go Ibibo, Via, IRCTC, SBI Card, HDFC Card, and Amazon, Flipkart. So I think every IT company or IT service provider online, maybe going forward, even OYO can start an LN booking. So I think the competition is very intense in this sector. I haven't seen Go Ibibo, which has been there for a long time, do well. Neither Via.com, which has been there for a long time, doing so well. So that's another risk from a long-term perspective. Let's see the pricing of this IPO. So the earning per share for the 2020 is around rupees 3, and 2021 is also around rupees 3 if we round it off. Book value is around rupees 12, and at the upper price band the price to earning ratio is 62 rupees. So this is expensive. uh, Expensive because 62 and the amount of competition this company has, it enjoys the valuation of a premium company which has a very traditional track record of delivering high growth, which I believe is not the case. I think every e-commerce company or an online startup can launch this service, including Airbnb and OYO and all these other big startups. So coming to the business model, I believe from a long-term perspective, they need to diversify. They need to reduce the airline business to around 40 to 50%, and competition, as I already mentioned, they have a ton of competition, not just Yatra, Make My Trip, and Clear Trip. So yeah, and so will I subscribe to this IPO? I believe, given the profits and all those thing, and so let's see here. So all the big broking houses, they have given a subscribe rating. I guess this is because they have been showing profits, and any company which shows profit and being an online business or .com, they are getting high valuations and people are subscribing like crazy. So I believe yes, they will have listing gains, at least maybe 30%, maybe 50%. But from a long-term perspective, I would give it a thumbs down. I don't believe it's a good investment from a long-term perspective. You can definitely subscribe to it for a short-term view, or just for the listing gains. So yeah, so I guess I've covered all my points, and I hope you like my video. And so I'll come up with a few more videos going forward, and this is my first one. So I'm sorry for this video not being very professional or not perfect. Yeah, thank you.